Well, guess what? They're not even going to lane. Well, he's running out of mana now, so.
Yeah, he's got some
so
mana pots now.
More.
Yeah.
One more set here.
And, I mean, it's just the Phoenix that was, you know, trying to deny this, and it's just not going to do anything.
It's actually important for this that it is the Phoenix.
But in a safe spot right now.
Big damage onto Schofield.
Yeah, those illusions are doing
He will
quite
live, but it's close. I mean, one more attack plus the poison.
Stop
pop.
hitting yourself, Schofield.
Yeah.
Trying to outmaneuver, and he will juke the illusion.
Jungle creeps if possible. Oh, they're just going to dive, it looks like. They're running at him with the drinking
K1.
buddies.
There is a TP coming in, though. Hector in a bit of trouble. Snowball's coming for him. A couple right clicks will suffice, but the cookie to keep him alive. Ice Shard's not enough. Now the Scatter Blast onto Q with the dive to follow. He's going to eventually tick away, and it's KJ who gets the first blood in this game number 2.
They were very aware of this possibility. That was clearly premeditated. If they dive us, TP down with scopes. So it's not like Divine Llama needs to call back his support for assistance here. Yeah, that full bore is...
It's brutal.
Nasty. Jabs, no mana.
Yeah, and he's going to get some Whirling Axes, although Ollie's coming in from the south, gets off his disruption onto K1. He'll have to work with his illusions now. He has stacks of Shadow Poison applying to him. He gets a nice Whirling Axes, but dies shortly after as KJ, I believe he gets a kill with his passive.
Very close fight. Analog showed up. Wants to go for jabs with the roll. If he connects this one, he's too far.
Rotation from Analog. He does hit the stone here.
Oh, the full bore,
and the right click.
Ah, man, that's my old brain being like, he can't connect here. The spell cooldown is way too long. But guess what? Full bore has a million range. I think the Eternal Shroud that the panel was talking about is very important. I think he's not that strong right now because of the overwhelming amount of...
Drinking buddies, and there's the Spectre, first ult of the game. K1 in a lot of trouble, but here comes the Mars Arena, but no, the Troll does die just on the outskirts, but look at the damage all under this tier 1 tower. 23 Savage ticking away, although Analog doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with, so they get the Tusk, they'll get the Darkseer, and these heroes are dropping like flies, although the Scatter Blast is avoided. 23 Savage gonna be able to dodge another roll.
Escape plan though, no TP.
He could try to deny himself to the creeps. He's gonna be
He's
spotted now.
For it. Did he magnetize nothing?
I'm not sure.
I didn't see the magnetize. I was like, they're all gonna
Spectral Dagger into the trees. He spotted it at the last moment. Sunray tickling him. As K1 dies to Lorinoff. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a moment. 23 Savage eventually will die. My goodness.
I mean, okay.
How did K1 die?
He went mid and got killed. By, I believe it was Tusk and Timber, so led to somewhat of a trade, I suppose. Oh, KJ does have Supernova.
He does have Supernova inside the egg. Nice spear. Can they save the egg? It's going to be close. A big rebuke comes out, and the egg does activate. Lorinoff and company in a lot of trouble. He dies at 23 Savage. Another death to his name. And Heroic basically taking out where they left off from that last game, and they have definitely have the momentum on their side.
Darkseer is a hero that uses levels incredibly well, and it makes a very big difference whether you hit level, let's say whether you're level 9 or level 11, because the extra points in either Vacuum or Surge are extremely valuable compared to, there's a lot of other, let's say there's a lot of offlane heroes with like the third
Divine Llama, Arena towards that top rune area. Analog comes in with a big magnetize onto several heroes. Disruption to keep Lorinoff safe, but Analog is the one taking the brunt of the damage despite having the Blade Mail. He is the first to fall. Jabs gets clipped by the Scatter Blast as the egg does go off in the background.
That was a very defensive Supernova from KJ. Thinking about it. Wait a second. He has Blade Mail and Illusion.
Coming, the Walrus Punch onto Analog, already getting evaporated, but will stay by a little bit longer, but the Arena comes in finally from Divine Llama. Not enough to save the Earth Spirit. The egg does go off, but the Shadow Demon Disruption actually avoided most of it. So Lorinoff's still alive, and now Divine Llama, one against the world. And the world wins. Okay. They did want to defend it with good reason. Eternal Shroud, baby. That was insane how much damage Lorinoff tanked. I think he ate like sand the whole combo, and then he just gets disrupted on 15% by Ollie. And I was going to say they defend the tower. They technically didn't. They end up denying it, but that was a 5v4. K1
up top.
He's going to get some help from Schofield. Gets a nice cookie on it too, but there's a third member in Ollie. Snowball Gonna find its way over to the Snapfire. 23 Savage is actually gonna be fine, and K1 Hector not so much. So another core kill for Aurora.
Yeah. This is some...
That's a sacred relic.
Damn, he is getting so much space. He feels like the phase of the game where, you know, Heroic want to force and win decisively in some team fights with the 4 of them, even without the troll. But that bottom fight really took the air out of them a little bit, with the Timbersaw frontlining being that tanky. That's the one thing they don't deal with very well, right? They have a ton of spread damage, but they don't deal a ton of single target. So a Timber with that vector, I think that is dispellable.
Is Drinking Buddies dispellable?
It says yes.
Okay, well that theoretically could be pretty gigantic.
However, it is a relatively new spell, so yes could mean no. 23 Savage.
Yes, Arena, he's about to pick up his Radiance. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. Doesn't lose that much gold in the end. A good pickoff from Heroic and showing us some signs of life. And yeah, the Ag's now online for K1. And
with that, they can still look to fight, and they will. Smoking up here. And they will find Phoenix.
Yeah, that would be a good kill. They're going to avoid him completely. Want to go for Divine Llama instead. That's going to be an easy pickoff. So it's a one and done, it seems, as the Radiance now officially online for 23 Savage.
Yeah. His farm is going to accelerate a lot now.
Whoa.
Backline. But yeah, he probably needs the Manta first to actually be able to kill with the...
Oh my. Nice punch.
Is he going to egg?
AJ's dead.
I think he could have maybe egged. This was Timber, Tusk, Shadow Demon. He had 3 teammates on backup, but...
Arena only going to hit Q. They're going to focus everything on the Shadow Demon first. That's an easy pickoff. Q, Ice Shards himself trying to get out with a little cheeky move there. It's not to be, though. 3 kills in the name of Heroic, and now they can get a tier 2 tower.
Oh,
probably
boy.
the Tormentor as well.
What could have been an easy Aegis snipe turns into a 0-for-3 fight, specifically because the Darkseer, I think level 4 vacuum there would have done it. But he was just outside of range. The vacuum misses getting the cliffing off. He actually missed it entirely on an ulting troll, which you could say in itself is highly unfortunate. He was standing not there.
Oh, jabs. He's going to be spotted, speared into a tree. Schofield trying to find the right angle. Scatterblast, okay. They do get the Mars Arena off. And Jab's just going to try to TP out, but the Gleipnir finds him. That's going to be the death of the Darkseer. As Ollie, his TP is canceled as well. That's going to be 2 kills again for Heroic.
Yeah. Didn't feel like the hero they went there for. I feel like that smoke was targeting Spectre, but all of a sudden the Darkseer walks under a ward. If we reach, let's say, some 50-60 minute territory, the hero is still very strong.
Ornoff, he does a lot of damage. As you can see, the Shadow Step was used. Gleipnir as well. Schofield's going to take the brunt of the damage, though he's the first to fall. Analog able to roll away, and it looks like that'll break things up. I mean, the traditional kite now. And they have a really good lineup for this, by the way. Obviously, you have the Radiance, the back wall. And
they're very stacked in the pit, but Darkseer isn't here.
Yeah. Lornoff throwing out the Chakram. Analog goes in with a BKB and his Magnetize. It looks like Roche will be for Heroic. Lornoff desperately trying to get over there. It's going to be close, actually. Lornoff takes the Aegis and they kill Roche as well. They have the arena, but everybody's outside of it, outside of Lornoff, who's basically impossible to kill here. The Mars has fallen. K1 trying to focus onto Jabs. And Analog gets punched into the air. We have a TP buyback from the Shadow Demon. Analog, despite having the blade on after it, does drop as Jab somehow getting out with barely any HP. This went amazingly for Aurora. Going through the gates left, right, and...
Quiet here. Okay, so is there something preventing Troll from hitting Roche? Is he getting, like, pushed? Is he not attackable because he's outside of the pit here from the shards?
He's stunned there.
I feel like he's... Is that actually not in the pit? Because
we have a team fight. Hold your horses. Mars Arena already used. Q just walks away with his BKB. Egg goes off, but no kills. And now Heroic, how much have they used? Can they even continue to fight here? Lornoff still with that Aegis, an unkillable beast.
So the shards did not only, I think...
And even his build, he's had to go somewhat defensive as well. As they're going to get the Walrus kick. That is the...
He could egg this.
Yeah, he could actually do it. He's going to get Walrus punch and dead. So Phoenix...
I mean, he would have died.
4v5.
They were not ready with Mars. Phoenix and Mars have to be in range. If Phoenix and Mars are close to each other in that regard, but only offers control, they're really trusting in K1's ability to kid.
Oh, they get the Hex. They get the opening onto the Tusk, but the vacuum is going to delay things. And look at the damage that Divine Llama has already taken. The snowball wasted so much time, nobody even dies inside of it. And the first to fall is Divine Llama. K1 finally pops the battle chance, but here is where the kiting begins. Gets kicked onto the cliff! Finally gets brought down by the cookie! And is killed off shortly after a 3-for-0, and Aurora in the driver's seat.
That's a three-pointer.
Well, that's a three-pointer. A 4-for-0 Aurora doing quite, yeah, and Q, that was the one they initiated on. He's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, that's just a very clutch counterplay with the Hex, right? I think Timber came in and very quickly hexed the Mars.
Field looks to be next on the list, and Aurora did lose a member or so, but they come out on top big time in this fight.
What a chaotic... 23 Savage was chasing Phoenix for like 30 seconds on the outskirts. That was just two separate fights happening at the same time. But
how did the Shadow Demon live?
But they can't really deal with the spec when she has Aegis. Again, it's the damage problems. If Troll isn't killing 23, who's going to do it? It's just way too much to chew through. Lorinov really played that fight, again, exceptionally well. He tanked. The ideal Timbersaw fight at this point in the game is where the enemy team uses tons of resources to get you to 20%, but don't finish the job. Because all of that is damage that could have gone on something else, and ultimately just ends up being completely wasted. This is approaching the type of game state that Spectre just don't miss.
Oh yeah. Gaben knew all along.
30 seconds before any reinforcements will arrive here for Heroic. They have a glyph. Gonna buy some time here, but doesn't feel like... Well, maybe they can even defend this one Rax.
I mean, their building damage
slow.
Is not particularly great.
They're not good at killing the banner, though. I guess Snapfire.
Yep, Snapfire is very good. Oh, the silence into the kick and the Hex.
Oh, boy.
He's dead. No Phoenix Egg for the next 70 seconds. For the next 70 seconds. Full lane Rax here for Aurora. They get... Nope, Lorinov going in really deep. There's the kick. Analog will pop the BKB. He's now Walrus Punch. Arena comes out from Divide. Shadow Demon's getting out some disruption as K1 focusing everything on the Tusk, but he gets vacuumed to the high ground. The kiting of Troll continues. Divide now trying to run away in his own base. K1 in the midst of everybody just dies. And GG's called, so we're going to a game number 3.
The unexpected brawl, the panel didn't cover this. They didn't think about the punch into kick combo. But the full martial arts on display here from Aurora.